If you would like to see how this fun and princess Dutch door comes together, stay tuned. What's up everyone, this is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here I share tips, ideas and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. As you can see, there are two sticker books from Journal Say right here. And I plan to make a princess style, a castle background, all those whimsical kind of elements into my Dutch doors this time. And let's get started. I also have this blue florals from Live Love Posh sticker book out, and these two can be used together because it has a lot of those castle and the princess and the illusions, all the fantasy related things. And this was the last set of Dutch doors, and this is the A5 journal if you remember. And I'm just having a couple of sticker books from Mojo Jojo Plans to make sure it is nice and stable and flat for us to work. And you will see how the sticker book, both of these can be used together because the colors are very similar. And one has more princess ones and the other has more castle and the harp and the garden outside, all of those. So I'm trying to bring in some, again, very symmetrical shapes because if you know me, you know that I love to bring in some symmetry because we will have some element of interest even when we turn the pages. And I'm using these scalloped washies from Plany Thing. And at all these shops, you can use my code Priya10 for 10% off. And this journal is in fact from the Happy Planner, and I will have my Amazon link in the description if you want to grab any of these, and all the other shops and codes can be found in the description if you would like to shop through them. I do earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and that is greatly appreciated anytime. So on to the Dutch doors, the first set, and I'm using the gyro cut for the edges, the non-straight edges, and this Fiskars ceramic cutter for the straight edges. So I really am being mindful of how much pressure I apply, especially towards the spine, because this is not something I've used for a long time. I'm used to the Arch and Olive journals, and you have very similar journals there too. And this was something I had bought, so I wanted to use it and make a journal ready to be used for a dear friend of mine who I'm hoping to meet sometime this year. So you will see how I'm picking up the items, the elements to be used for the next page. And you will also see that there are lots of interesting items in here. And we are going with this harp, which I really want to use. So I know my friend has her favorite color as blue, and I'm keeping it very light with the blue. And then there was some contrast that was needed. And I'm using the washi cutter from Live Love Posh and just straightening it a bit, just moving it a bit so that it can lay flat. And as I was saying, the symmetrical elements are key and it need not be exact. And with the printables, we can achieve that effect easily because you can switch the orientation around. So you will have the exact element in the different orientation or the orientation you want. So with the sticker books, you have what you have. So you just make do with the elements and shapes you have available. And that is a question I get a lot as to how you can do that. I mean, you can stay with just one side if you are okay with the other side being plain, which is also fine. It depends on also how much time you have to spare for the setups. Because if you don't have time to align all the elements on the symmetrical side, then I would suggest you just stick to one side. And let me know how you are liking the new size, because the A5 seems to be the most popular size when it comes to doctorate journals. And this is very new when it comes to the journals that I use, because if you've been watching my videos, you know that B5 and the square journals are my go-to sizes. And the A5, I think it is really not something I would reach for, because I think there is very limited space for usage. So I prefer the other sizes that I like. Some of my creative journals are both in the 8 by 8 square, and I have the Wonderstruck in the blackout and the dog grid. And all the setups are already up on my channel. If you would like to check out those videos, please do so, because I do get lots of requests from various folks across multiple platforms, whether it be Facebook or YouTube, even on Instagram, to share more ideas for the blackout journal. Lots of people get intimidated by that. So I'm just moving these elements a bit up so that we can still have some decent amount of space for journaling. And again, this is a journal and it is meant to be journaled in. So I would like to leave some room for my friend to add thoughts and whatever she wants to write about her day, or if she follows certain prompts that she would like to write on. That is all doable, and you need space for all that. So I would really like for that to be open. So that is why I like to leave some space for writing. And I do have tutorials on using the gyro cart on for a total beginner, as in the do's and don'ts and how you can get started. And before you know, you will be cutting like a pro. So that is the next page all done. And I like when these elements start lining up. And I will have one more page on either side. So now for these clouds, they look like cotton candy to me. At least that's what the colors remind me of. So I'm bringing in some bigger ones, some smaller ones, and I'm also trying to layer the elements a bit. And I'm just trying to, that's one way you could maximize on a sticker, because you have very limited stickers. We just have, I think, one page on each in each book, so you will need to be very conscious of how much you're adding to the pages. And I really want this stairs. It could lead to anything. It could be to a garden, it could be to the castle, it could be any of that. And I also want to have this water fountain on the left page, and that is something I will need to make sure I line it up just like so. And there is also some of these other elements that we could use for the outdoor scene, and that both the books have the functional boxes also. The only downside is when we have not many quotes, so I just did not add quotes this time. You don't have to, right? It's for journaling, so you could fill in using your writing. And if at all she prefers to add a couple of quotes, she could. So just adding a couple of butterflies, and it is just again spacing it right. And you will also see how all the colors and even these decorative boxes coordinate well with all the collections in the book. And that is from Journal C. So for Journal C alone, you can use code Priya for 8% off, and it's usually stackable on top of sales, just like with Archer and Olive and Planny Thing. And the Live Love Posh, the blue florals, it's unfortunately not available to pick up, but there are lots of other sticker books that are always in stock. They always have great illustrations. So, and it is, I love when I can support small businesses like so, and I can really reach for the Planny Thing or the Mojo Jojo plans or the Live Love Posh, any of those small shops, and they have great sticker books and products and accessories. So I've been using the Live Love Posh washi cutter for a while now. You may have seen this very, very well used. So I'm just trying to use the symmetrical element to the best of my ability, and also I will come and fill in using some of the smaller elements that are also available alongside. And that was a nice easy shape to match. And I think this girl, yeah, no, that's how it's always. Sometimes, especially with such things, it's always a trial and error. See, it takes up very less space, so a lot of the actual sticker will be wasted, so we need to keep looking, and that looks more or less like a good match. Yeah, I think that goes well with the rest of the themes also. And we will also kind of move that flower arrangement a bit more up so that it can pretend as if it's just sitting on that other Dutch door. So the butterfly has lots of space to flutter around, even in the other areas. So these are washi strips, if you did not know. So I wanted to try and include that as well, but again, it does not work sometimes. So now let's try and layer some of the functional boxes. And I like when I can add at least two, if not three, stickers, especially the boxes together. And yeah, it did not look good. The washi strips will have to wait. So as you can see, I'm really digging through my stash and using the stickers and themes that I think my friend will really love. And I think blue and baby pink, light blue and light pink. I think she really loves that combination a lot. So I hope it will be a nice gift, something really personal and something that she can dive right in without having to do any setup. So that I think would be a really good gift when I meet her. So you can use some of those smaller elements to use in some of the other areas. And let us see if these decorative elements, these decorative boxes, in fact, are really just a statement on its own. So it needs some empty space for it to shine the way it needs to. And I'm using one of these oval boxes too. And I will at the end come and add the hanging parts just so that it can pretend as if it was a picture frame or something. And this is, again, I don't really do the horizontal Dutch doors like these. I prefer the vertical Dutch doors. But once in a while I do. And sometimes you may have seen how I bring, again with the A5, the writing space is even more less. But for some people, it's just that much space that they need. So for such people, And also for people who write small, and again, that's not me. My writing is big, so I need all the space I can get. So that's another reason I think I don't quite enjoy the A5. So just cutting around that washi tape and just pretend as if that washi tape is behind there. And I think I will go and add some more functional boxes, and I decide to add a box right under the garden gate, you see. And I think that pulls it together nicely. And yeah, let's just cut it and use it somewhere else. And these scraps are always really helpful. And I think there was hardly anything visible on the sticker scrap that I decided to just discard it. And I'm going with you see all these shapes which are very unusual. You can add it for titles, you can add it as boxes, you can add it as clusters. And yeah, just layering a plain box off of the decorative box is something really nice. And it is something, yeah, that's a bit too much. And even that, I think it just takes away from the whole beauty of the spread. So that is another thing you might want to think of, especially when you're doing something like this. Just limit to plain boxes instead of adding decorative boxes if you already have a lot going on in your pages. And do you see how quickly these come together? And in real time, I think it took me about 40 minutes for the entire setup. And I don't think you have to sit through all that because I'm obviously speeding it up. And let me know how you like today's setup and if you would like to see any particular themes in use here. And I'm using the corner rounder. And please let me know in the comments how you like these themes and how you would use it if it were you, and see how the washi cutter doubles as a ruler or something small for you to add certain smaller elements. And please come follow me on Instagram. I'll have all my details down in the description. And also, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification if you haven't already. It really helps me out with the growth of the channel and gets my content out to more folks out there. And I think this is pretty much done, adding a few more filler elements. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.